let you sleep in my clothes. No, it ain't right, I've been stressing at night. We're together, but I feel alone. How long do I stand here in the fire? How long do I try before I'm on my own? How long do I walk across the wire? Stay till we fall. We don't know how to act. We get chaotic and say things we wanna take back. Is there a reason that we're still together? How long do we stand here in the fire? How long do we try before we're on our own? How long do we walk across the wire? Stay till we fall.
Hello and welcome to the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. It's time to kick off our spring season in Valorant. Tonight we have 3 teams competing in a round-robin group stage, with the top 2 teams advancing to next week's grand finals. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. Joining me is Michael Fisher to call all of the action. And Fish, this is the first time that we see a spring rumble really beginning with set rosters. A lot in the winter rumbles, we had kind of a lot of roster swaps, a lot of show matches going on. But now is the time for the teams to all be aligned in set rosters and prove what they're worth.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're cultivating in the winter, right, and you're blossoming in the spring is, I think, kind of maybe a metaphor there. But no, I think it should be exciting. As you said, we get set rosters, kind of get to see the players play in longer games, right? You got to play multiple games with your team instead of maybe a one-off here, one-off there. This week you're with a different team. So should be very exciting. I know also we just had the Esports Tower Winner Awards, so Kokkonen has got to defend his crown as the Valorant MVP. Sure, everybody's going to be gunning for him. I know he's in our Rumble today. So I think it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see who makes next week's Grand Finals.
Well, You're talking about Kekkonen defending his MVP status, but also if anyone else wants to steal that MVP status, they're going to have to play at their best. And to play at their best, they have to follow Doc's keys to the game in Valorant. But before we get to that, just a quick showcase of all the teams that we have competing. Wolves, Sharks, and Tigers. Another new mascot joining the Esports Tower ranks. Always nice to see those new team logos. And as I was talking about, Doc's keys to the game in Valorant is going to be to flank efficiently, check your angles, count cards and call abilities, and of course, click heads. It's all brought to you by Esports Tower. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. And we're about ready to head into the first game of the night. It's going to be Wolves versus Tigers on Icebox. Who will pick up the first win of the spring Valorant Rumble? And more importantly, what do you think the stage Icebox means for the potential strategies that we could see?
It feels like it's been a while since we've really seen Icebox, but it is one of those classic maps. I know we've talked about it on other broadcasts. Probably means you're going to see a Viper most likely on that B site, though we've seen some teams switch it up. So I think that Viper is going to be the most important one. Will both teams bring it out? Will they have someone who's comfortable on the Viper? And how often will teams maybe look towards this A site that we're getting a great flyover right now? I think those are the big questions for me. What about for you, Jacob? What are you looking for on Icebox?
Well, before I ask any questions, I do want to say that you can check out Esports Tower Vitamin Shop, great sponsor of the program. You can scan the QR code right now. They have everything a gamer could need. But as for questions as I have on this, I'm always looking for a team's ability to kind of really rotate through mid kind of well, because so many times we see, they either go through A main or B, and if they run into enough resistance, they rotate through their own spawn and just take the other main route. But it's teams that can kind of flank efficiently through mid, kind of take tube up into kitchen and take the other team off guard, that I think that we can see some very special plays be brought out to the field. So we'll see which team is going to be better at that as we go Wolves, Tigers to start things off.
And we do have our Wolves starting out defending here, so we'll see what the Tigers have from attack. Redskin, another one of those long-time players that we've seen quite a lot of. We'll see if he can help lead his team to victory. At least for now, they're going to maybe push towards A, and as you said, maybe look for them to just get a lot of utility and then turn right around. As Kekkonen, we said, our winter MVP, starting things off here early.
Gonna throw a few shock darts off of the floor. No doubt a lineup he's practiced many times before. The Viper wall is going to go up, trying to keep the Tigers at bay. The first side's going to be exchanged between Secrets. Kinetic is the first one to be taken out. Secret's got a body shot or two, and Jabe is holding down the flank. Puts a few shots out there and ducks behind cover, tries to escape through tube. They're going to see him and try to wallbang him through tube, but he's out of there.
Took just a little bit of damage. We do see Secrets getting healed up there a little bit for the Wolves, so nothing too crazy. Just as you mentioned, Jacob, they're going to look A, they'll get some stuff out of the way, and they're going to rotate B. And this is currently wide open, though. Jabe is hanging out there on the KO.
We don't have any utility set up for the plant except for the Sage Wall. That goes down. A little bit of hesitation on the plant. They're going to get spotted out. Avian's going to take out Kekkonen. Now we find ourselves Tigers with the post plant and the person advantage up 2.
Make that up 3 is one they were looking for. Avian the whole time. He finds a third, gets a fourth, and it's a flawless round for the Tigers. Really on the back of Avian, only 4 HP, but he had 4 kills to boot.
Well, the Tigers were saying that they really want to be aggressive early on in the game, try to disrupt the opposing team's economy early on. So winning the first round is always a good start to that. We'll see how well they can bonus in round 3 going forward.
The flank by Avian was fantastic. Again, it looks like we're set up for more of the same. They're going to probably try and bait out some util. They also got a first blood on A site that kind of really opened up the rest of the map. So we'll see what they have in store. Is so far, Viper for the Wolves is not going to be there. They're actually the Wolves for an aggressive play through tubes you can see on your mini map. That's something to keep an eye on here. They're going to maybe have a flank behind A and behind the Tigers.
The only thing Tigers are looking at is B for a potential flank, but all 3 of them go unopposed through the opposing spawn, but Secrets putting a bit of pressure on those 3 flankers because they're the only ones left after Secrets picks up a double.
Oh, the wall goes down and Happy gets picked off. Fear and Jabe combined, but now as you mentioned, that Viper who was looking for a B flank is going to be right behind him. Dark finds one, he finds a second. And unfortunately, the Wolves now down to their last member. That flank, they tried, but I don't know how much Fnatic has in the tank. We'll see. He gets taken down there with just a pistol, but kind of a double flank action, and it worked out for the Tigers, but they also had a pretty sizable gun advantage as well.
We head into the next buy phase. It's going to be 4 Tigers who have their second round courses bonus with. Wolves should be able to buy their full rifles. See a lot of Phantoms coming out. Now this is going to be the real chance if we see the Tigers are going to be able to kind of fulfill the goal that they set out for themselves and getting some great eco early on. See how many frags they can get, ARs they can pick up.
Yeah, an early first blood, as you mentioned, pick up that AR, start to slowly even the playing field. We've seen it a lot. Nice little jump peek there by Fear. I do believe he saw at least one. And he's going to have Jabe help rotate over.
Stealing sight.
Fusiliers go out. A whole bunch of utility on the B. They want to plan it fast. They're going to go through the smoke and be able to take out Jabe unaware. He's not even going to pick up the gun. He's still moving on.
Yeah, he's been looking to move quickly. Had a couple on his trail. Fear just saw him. Right through the wall, not able to find it. Dark finds another one with this SMG. Already the Tigers up 2. They have the Empress online if they really need it, as Kinetic gets the first frag for the Wolves, and Spicy makes it 3-3.
Spicy taking a bit of damage by Rezkin, picks up a double. There's only 1 left. Fear with the Vandal. And not too much time as the spike is ticking down. The Shock Dart's going to hold him at bay. He's going to pick up 1 of the Vandals and save for next round.
That was a fantastic Shock Dart. We saw a great view from Fear, basically had to track it the whole way. Ooh, Secrets does get actually taken out by the spike. Small loss for the Tigers, but he was probably going to buy up anyway, so I don't think he's too concerned. And so far, Avian 6-1-1 already has the Empress online. Major reason why it's 3-0 Tigers right now.
Mainly a half buy, a lot of relying on the Sheriff. Maybe he can get a headshot here or there to even things up.
You can't catch us.
Meanwhile, the Tigers seem like they're going to take a pretty forceful push on B, whereas it's the mirror image on A for the Wolves. So there isn't going to be too much engagement between both teams.
Luckily, the Wolves had a couple of aggressive members. They quickly realized, I think Fear and Kekkonen do, that we need to rotate over. Meanwhile, the Tigers have been playing this very, very slow. They're not even on an open B site yet. Kekkonen gonna throw out a shot with the Sheriff. Avian finds 1, and he's turning around at the Phantom, and all of a sudden, yeah, you've got some scattered Wolves here, and they're not gonna be able to do much in 1v1 with just these pistols.
All drones going to be thrown out around the corner. Also smoke set up. Smoke's clear. Hanging out, and he gets taken out. Moving and Secrets both pick up 1. That leaves things open for the plant by Rezkin. And only 1 left. Could be another flawless. Kekkonen eliminated. And Tigers now up 4-0.
Unfortunately for the Wolves, they just didn't have the guns for the strategy they wanted to pull off. We saw as soon as Avian and company realized the flank was coming, they picked off a couple. But Wolves get a full buy now, and hopefully they can start to turn their fortunes around of this sort of buy, half buy, half buy you see a lot when a team starts losing rounds consecutively.
Meanwhile, it seems that team coordination and kind of pushing all at once strategy from the Tigers is going to be kept alive as they move through A. Both Viper walls are going to be set up. Unable to take out the dart, and the ping's going to go off onto Avian. A little bit of fumbling in the face of that util.
Begins. Yeah, the Empress is going to be popped by Avian. She's going to dash onto this A site. Looking for that first pick. Wall goes down as Rezkin starts the plant. Fear sees Secrets. They trade shots, and it's Secrets who picks up first blood.
Take flight.
Spike planted.
Conan throws out the owl drone, gets a dart. On the Tigers. Secret's going to find themselves in a bit of pressure as it is a 3-on-2, though two of the Wolves are a bit low on health. Going to try to defuse, but the lineups are going to be there from the Viper. Coming in with the help of the Sage Wall to protect him, is just going to try to stick it, but bails out.
Last player
They
standing.
get it to half, and V-Spicy's triple kill is going to assure they finish it off, and the Wolves finally pick up their first round.
It seemed like the Tigers, ever since they first started moving on into A, they just weren't able to really get their nerves together. Despite the past 4-round wins, they got hit with the dart at the early on, their locations were revealed, and they really couldn't quite find their footing from after that, even though they got some great post plans and molly lineups with the Viper. Meanwhile, I do believe the Tigers were seeing our first op be brought out.
Looks like Secret's ready to go. He's got more than enough cash in the bank. No, I think you're right. I think maybe would have been the first time for the Tigers to turn around. They've kind of just been a whole W mindset. The site they pick has almost always been the site they go to. So maybe if they missed those shots on that recon dart, would have been smart to turn around. So far, though, we're going back to A. And keep an eye on the Wolves here. We've got a couple of potential flankers here. I believe that is Kinetic and Jabe looking for the flank there on the KO and the Viper.
Drone thrown out. Gonna let his teammates take care of that. He lets the other team knows he's actually holding it up. From behind, though, Avian on a long flank only gets one, tries to get out of there. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Conan picks up a double, bringing it to 3 apiece. The spike is planted by the Tigers. So now I think that op can be in a lot more useful situation if you're just waiting for the Wolves to come to you.
Has the knives as well in case he needs something close quarter. Here's Kinetic and Jabe. Jabe going to find one.
Enemy remaining.
Kinetic will trade his life out to make it a 2-on-1 against Secrets and that op. Oh, you hear it ring out. He's able to try and switch the pistol, but Kokonin gets the kill, and it's 2 in a row for the Wolves here.
The Wolves had a great retake. They moved through the Tigers' own spawn. Both of them split up, took a very disciplined 2-on-1. Jabe couldn't aim at both of them at the same time, so one of them got him in the back. And that just left, despite he had a great gun, despite having the op, it really wasn't able to take a 2-on-1 from there on out. Saw him switching actually to his sub-weapon. Now that op's going to be picked up by Fear, it looks like.
Curious to see how Fear will do with it. The Wolves do have all of their ults as well, so they have a pretty sizable advantage. It does look like a couple of members for the Tigers. See a Reskin there on the Sage. He's not going to have anything. Luckily, Secrets is going to have the knives. But you're still down a gun if you are the Tigers.
Stealing sight.
One op shot and a quick dash away by Fear. A lot of the Tigers seem to be going towards A, Robert. The attention is diverted away by 2 of the Tigers and D-Long. Jabe is going to take them out. Hunter's Fury by the Wolves in response to that plant. The spike still goes down, but it's going to get a good bit of health off of the Tigers.
And then again, attacker spawn also picks up another fantastic kill. As he enters into A site from behind. He picks up one. V-Spice is going to pick up another one, and now it's just up to Dark. Does have the ult down. Trying to hold on as long as he can, but Fear gonna op him. That should be another round here for the Wolves.
Complete reversal of fortunes as the Tigers are left humbling. It really doesn't seem like they're really aware of these flanks coming out from the Wolves, especially if the Wolves rotate through their own, the Tigers' own spawn. Seems like the Tigers, their mentality was just push forward all as one team, and that worked out for the first 4 rounds, but now that the Wolves changed up their strategy on them a little, the Tigers just haven't been able to claw back.
And it's been a fun little cat and mouse game to watch between Kinetic and Avian. Avian seems to be always looking for a flank of his own or looking for the flankers, and it's Kinetic and Jabe who have been on the flank for the most part. So it's kind of been a fun little game to watch those two kind of chase each other around the map. And as you said, it's been the Wolves doing a great job with these fantastic flanks from Kinetic, from Jabe, that have almost evened this series back up at 4-4, and they have a massive gun advantage this round. A couple more players from the Tigers had to eco. A couple of shots go out. Nice little start there as Rezkin gets first blood onto Jabe.
Now, Dark might not be realizing the danger he's walking into. He doesn't realize that Kinetic is hiding up there. Doesn't give his position away. Is going to be able to take out V Spicy.
Oh!
You will not
I
kill
thought for
my
sure they
ally.
would just walk like lemmings.
I'm with you. I thought Happy was going up to his death, but a fantastic job there. Nice res as well from Rezkin. Makes it a 5-on-2.
One enemy
Peek out
remaining.
from the wall. Sequence is waiting right there with a quick flick.
I think you run if you're Fear here. You have the op. I don't think you want to hand the op back for free. Does pick up one. Going to get pushed on here by Secrets. He doesn't know it. He's also got a flank coming from behind. If you look at your mini-map, this is going to be a very awkward spot. The smoke goes down. He, unfortunately for Secrets, fails to dash. They're going to surround Fear, and that's going to be an op. Hand it right back to the Tigers.
They're going to claim the win just before the spike detonates as well, so no chance that one of them gets caught off by that blast radius. This was just a great reaction from Secrets as well. Effortless flick over, one headshot to end it. Now the Tigers have brought it back to a 2-round lead. That op is definitely going to help them make sure that they have full purchase this round. I'm sure Wolves are just going to run it back with their rifles as well.
Curious if
Feeling safe.
Fear will actually bring out his own op. Should get more than enough cash, as we heard one of them pop off. Might have been Fear, so we might have double op both on the Jet. And that is the case, as Fear has one. Kinetic gonna find first blood, but Secrets wins the op battle.
Now down to 4 apiece. Tigers slowly rotating back over towards A as Secret keeps an eye on Tube and mid. None of the Wolves rotating through there quite yet.
Ooh, nice little forward spot for Kokkonen. But now the Tigers, this is the first time we've seen major hesitancy here. They looked B, they came back A, now we're slowly approaching A. This is the first time we've seen some kind of confusion from the Tigers on what they want to do. They also have a nice little flank from Avian going over towards B that we have to keep our eyes on.
It's going to be thrown out.
30
Snake
seconds
Bite
left.
quickly pinning Secrets to the corner. He
Enemy
tries to
remaining.
updraft, but
Spike
immediately gets
down
taken out
A.
by Kinetic. Now there's just one left. It was Avian on this long flank. Might be able to pick up 1 or 2, but Jabe seems like he has his number. Takes him out, and the Wolves bring it back to within 1.
I don't know if that was a misfire or just supreme confidence from Avian. Kind of took a shot, gave away his position there, and that allowed Jabe to predict it. This was a fantastic play by Kinetic. It's a great kill onto Secrets and then an insane flick on, I believe, Happy. Take a look at it here. The Wolves still trying to take the lead, though. They have not been able to lead so far. Every time they get close, the Tigers have clapped right back.
Looks like we're going to have a early engagement in B. 3 versus 3. So that's kind of split up between A and mid.
Fear picking up 1 onto Rezkin. Another first blood for the Wolves. And we'll see how the Tigers want to respond here. They are very split up.
Updraft from Secrets.
Blocking sight.
Moving on to A slowly, trying to check all his angles.
Blocking sight.
Without the smoke, buying enough time for the planner. Spike goes down on A. Retake is going to come through strong for the Wolves. Use that KO hold, try to take away any last util that the Tigers do have. Jape gets a headshot onto Secrets.
One enemy remaining.
Dark is able to trade one, but overall, another clean win by the Wolves. If you're looking at the half ended, almost tied up.
If the way this game started, a 6-6 half, maybe even a 7-5 half in favor of the Wolves would be very impressive. After the Tigers came out very hot, but you even saw there, Dark had to turn around after the spike got planted. He was expecting the flank. I think the Wolves have really done a great job of mixing in some aggression with some calculated, more
This
of
is our home.
passive
Keep 'em out.
Valorant play when it comes to the retaking sites, and it's really kind of thrown the Tigers off their loop. And now I think this is their first real full eco round that they're going to have to suffer through.
Viper Wall heads up. Be Spicy holding this angle down. Not showing too much movement. Is going to see the smokes being brought out. Gets walled off. Reflexively puts a few shots onto the wall, but that's going to give away his positioning.
Secrets takes a little bit of damage there. Rezkin, again, this flank. You can see multiple members looking that way, and Avian, it pays off. He finds one, but his team's going to lose two closer to the spike. Make it 3 now as Jay picks up one. Empress has been used by Avian to try and retake. Finds one. V-Spicy going to start the defuse. Is he going to stick it? He's got his own Sage Wall here this time. He'll hold it to stop Avian's rampage.
Both the times that the Wolves have used the Sage Wall to kind of
Last
protect
round
the
before the
diffuser,
switch.
it's worked out pretty well. Kind of set up the wall there and then keep the remaining players of the Tigers with possible util or lineups to stop it busy. Now the Wolves have a chance to end this half slightly in the lead, which, as Fish said earlier, would be quite a comeback considering they were down 4-0 as this game started.
Did a great job for the Tigers to really kind of figure out what strategy they want to have going into the second half when we do switch sides, because it's been the Wolves' unpredictability that has really kind of thrown everything for a loop. V-Spicy does see Secrets. He's going to dash away. Kinetic going to throw out the Viper hit to try and distract, or try and at least convince the Tigers to go somewhere else. And so far, they're 0 for 2 on listening. As make it 0 for 3 as Kinetic finds another with the shorty.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Wolves managed to take the win with a flawless.
Switching sides.
Tigers, you look outside, you know, of those initial 4 rounds, that's only 1 round that they managed to win in that half, basically a 3-round winning streak and then a 4-round winning streak by the Wolves.
I just felt that the Tigers too committal on the sites. I mean, the moment the Viper pick goes down, felt like the turnaround. I mean, they were going to have to run into Jabe, who was pushing into that defender attacker spawn, but they didn't worry about it too much, and they pushed forward and met their demise. So now we'll see what the Wolves have in store for us as the attackers. Are they going to be hyper-focused on one spot? That will be the big question in our second half.
Eskin's the only one holding down B. Here's the Owl drone and decides to reposition. Slowly checking all the angles he's hiding out. Viper's wall thrown up through B.
Just looked the wrong way, did Kinetic.
It's the kick and the overheal, which first round like this, when shields aren't guaranteed, could be decisive. It's going to be enough to force the Wolves off of their initial B push.
He is about to fade from Avian, so no longer has that bonus armor he was talking about. A great knife there. Might have spotted out a couple members, but Avian's going to pick up Jabe regardless. It's just a free fire in 2. Avian finds 3, looking for one more. Had to switch pistols, and he gets the 4-piece. And just like the start of the game, it's Avian popping off on a pistol round to give the Tigers the win.
The last thing they'll see before they die. Lucky them.
I was a bit shocked that this went as badly as it did for the Wolves. I mean, you're basically know where everyone is coming through, but they all find themselves kind of trapped in this tube. They also don't take the angle as a double peek. You see Sage peeking all alone. Essentially means that the Tigers always had the first advantage in that engagement.
See if this starts another 4-round win streak like we saw in the first half. Avian pushing up, finds a double off the rip. And that's going to make things a little easier here for the Tigers to try and tie this game. And it was the spike. Oh, goodness.
Viper Wall is going to head up. Wolves now moving slightly through that. Trade 1 for 1.
Last player standing.
Only one left.
Spike
Kinetic
down A.
gets taken out. Now the Tigers are going to have 4 of their weapons to bonus with. And I think the pattern that we're really kind of seeing here is, you know, Avian has been pretty dependable as the main playmaker in these initial few pistol rounds. The question is, and what could really decide this game ultimately is, are the Tigers' strategy of kind of relying on Avian in the first 2 rounds, are they going to be able to transition to the actual rifle rounds later on?
I think that is an excellent thing that you bring up. I think something definitely have to keep an eye on. I do think Avian's play style does get a bit of a bonus. Being the defensive team, he can definitely look for more aggressive angles. As you see right now, number 7 on your mini-map is Avian there. Looking for what could be a huge flank through mid behind the entire Wolves team, who's currently now at the moment waiting up that Sage wall.
And none of them are looking behind either. They are completely unaware as to this potential play. Move right through the wall. It's going to see a lot of them in the back, is waiting very patiently. They are so unaware, and he just tears through 2 of them. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade overall.
Fortunately for him, his team lost another member as well. Fear does take a ton of damage from that Marshall, so it's still a 3-3 despite that massive flank. So really no advantage, and now Fear with the Vandal easily going to outduel that Marshall, and this should be a plane for B, Spicy and company.
Spike goes down.
1 enemy remaining.
Smoke off. Happy.
Neutralized.
Still manages to find one, weaving through the sidelines on that smoke. The other 2 Wolves have basically hidden behind cover, waiting for any sort of cue from Happy.
That's your reflexes. Be Spicy. Oh, he caught both of them.
I don't know what was happening there, because we're obviously going to see that replay again, and the Tigers are going to go and lead off of that, but
Don't worry.
I don't quite know what happened here, because if you look overall where he was hiding, we're going to see this play earlier, but I was going to say the crosshair placement was right on for the Wolves, and then all of a sudden, the last moment, they decided to crouch, and they also were just completely unaware of this early flank by Avian. Even though they had the rifle advantage, you just need to show maybe just a little bit more awareness of where they are on the map.
Yeah, I think the big thing was, I think, based off just at least how that kill ended, speaking as a replay, I think they were basically trying to double peek the same angle, so they asked, Happy asked Be Spicy to crouch at that last second, and that crouch, as you mentioned, kind of threw off the crosshairs. It changed everything. Dark going to find one, but Kokonin will answer right back in a 1-for-1 trade. Jade going to find another through the Viper wall, and all of a sudden it's 3-3, and there's a couple of big-time rifles for pickup here if the Wolves can find those bodies.
Secrets gets 1 pick, dashes away. Jabe hiding behind yellow. Owl drone thrown out. Is going to get a peek onto Kekkonen.
One enemy
Dart
remaining.
thrown out, and Kekkonen is taken out as Secrets swings out from behind the corner, and now the Tigers up to 9-7. And this was the break point that we saw last half as well. 4 rounds initially won by the Tigers. Now will the same pattern play out in the second half?
I think the one thing that both these teams have just really struggled with attacking is they just have seemed to latch onto one side, and that has been the only option. I mean, it felt like in that scenario, you got the blind off, maybe try and grab the spike, turn around, hightail over to A, at least try and maybe get set up. So far, the Wolves have basically said, this is our spot, this is where we're going. This time we'll see if it's a little different, as they do have 4 over on A, and Lone Silver on B is happy. Gonna get suppressed and
I cannot use
forced to
that.
fall back. Oh no.
Kekkonen gets the first pick onto Rezkin. Avian putting a lot of fire through mid, but there are no Wolves going through mid right now. In fact, as soon as he stops firing, Jabe is the one to start pushing up through mid. But Secrets is there to take Avian's place, eliminates Jabe.
Plant down, the classic Sage Wall and Plant that we've seen both these teams pull off really almost every round so far in this series. Avian does have the Empress rolling, finds 1 for the refresh. Might have seen V-Spicy, now he definitely does. Here he comes out, and Kekkonen and V-Spicy pick up there.
Last player standing.
That's going to bring it back to within 1. After that 4-round winning streak, Wolves are able to bring it back.
Dabu, as you said, 4 rounds in a row in the first half and the Wolves win. 4 rounds in a row in the second half and the Wolves win, though this time, instead of being down 4-1, it's 9-8. A much better position for the Wolves.
One suppressed.
9-1. Avian once again looking mid, though Jabe uses the Viper smoke to actually cross over into tubes, then tries to challenge Avian, and it does not go as he had hoped.
Wolves sticking on to the A push. They're taking it very slowly, however. Around the corner, V-Spicy is able to dislodge Happy on the gun advantage. Knight's gonna head down. Off shot brings out by Secrets. Also brings out the knives, just in case he needs to swap to it.
He's been so aggressive with these knives. Usually, maybe save them in case you lose this round, because you did buy an op. Instead, just rips them. Oh, he's going to run right into Kekkonen, who takes the kill on the op and the knives. Gives the Wolves a 2-person advantage, but Avian's still alive. All of a sudden, it's 2-2.
Avian picks up his 3rd. Tigers very low on health. Their Sage is just hanging on in this Viper's Pit. Moves out to regain some health. Is now back in. And there isn't enough time. 2 are going to be taken out, but the Wolves ultimately claim that as a win to tie it up 9 apiece.
As much as this world hurt me,
Great
it's
job
mine.
by
I will
Kinetic
kill
with
to
that
defend
Viper's
it.
Pit. Shut down Avian's rampage. 28-11. He has double the kills of the next highest player on either team. Unfortunately for the Tigers, he just has not been able to consistently help them win rounds. He's gotten a couple picks, usually, as you mentioned, Jacob, 2-for-1 trades, but the Wolves have done a great job sort of rallying, and it's 9-9 right now.
And it especially makes it if it's as lopsided as it is in the performance, and that means if he's the one taken out on first blood, then the round's looking pretty good from the Wolves from there on out.
No, that is a fantastic point. Oh, the Aldrone does spot Secrets, tries to dash away, but can't quite get away from that Aldrone, so Kinetics can pick up the first kill. And if you're an aggressive player, it's the first one to die. That massively hurts your team. Here is Avian, trying to help his team, currently down 2 members here in a 9-9 game.
Toxins going up.
Gonna be an exchange. Dark is eliminated 5v2.
One
Gets to
enemy
pick on the
remaining.
2-piece. The Wolves stand firm. 3 of them are able to survive and win that round, moving them on to double digits.
That's a fantastic little play there from Rezkin. Thought maybe that might have been what made the difference, but unfortunately just had a pistol. But now full buy here for the
Can someone
Tigers,
get
looking
this?
to turn their fates. As Jacob mentioned, the first half they started out on a four-round winning streak, only won 1 other round the entire half. Trying to prevent that from happening here.
Here.
That would guarantee a Wolves victory in the first game of our group stages here. These are best-of-1 round robins. So a win is very important if you're looking to make the grand finals next week.
Now they're putting Avian up on the point itself. I do like that position. He's so able to get picks onto the enemy team. You might as well place him on a more central location. Trying to get the wall bang. He is able to take out Fear. Gets another onto Jabe. Still has his location revealed. He's down to 22. Medic takes out Rezkin. Gets answers it back.
One enemy remaining.
There's just 1 left from the Wolves.
Oh, and that was a fantastic job. We talk about that all the time. Feels like every week we're reminding these players, Jacob, you got to push together in that situation. Because V-Spicy had the lineup. If one person peeked him, they were probably dead to a headshot. But Secrets does a great job. Jump peeks with the dash. Has Avian coming around the corner as well. This is a fantastic job.
Yeah, that one updraft kind of drew his crosshair away from that one corridor. And that Jet had immediately kind of fallen back down.
Little does he know,
Flash.
the whole team is there. And he finds one. Dark finds a second. Avian 2 for 1 once again. Now, can his team capitalize? It's going to be the big question.
Last player standing.
I think they can.
Anyone have funds to spare?
33 kills for Avian. That is quite insane. Quite insane that it's this even, all things considered.
Does have the Tigers 2 rounds away from picking up the win. Again, looking for that play in mid, though he will be a little more disappointed this time.
ahead.
We hear the knives come out from Fear.
Nice brought out by Fear, charging into the point rather fast, but actually gets kept at bay with that Viper wall. And that's going to be enough for the Wolves to rethink it and actually rotate over. One of the rare times we've actually seen that.
Okay, I think this might be the first, at least for the Wolves. They are going to have to go into Rezkin, who still has a wall down. Has a decent lineup as well. Is Fear going to lead the charge and look for something with that knives updraft in the air. Sees Rezkin, and the knives finish him off for the reset.
There they are.
And now the sight is 3 in favor of the Wolves.
Take him out.
Conan finds one more.
You will not kill my allies.
Rez is going to go out
Standing
for
ahead.
the Wolves. Making it all the more likely that they can win this just off eliminations alone. Spike goes down.
The behemoth that is Avian has been taken down as well. That is a massive
Last
elimination.
player standing.
You're trying to hold on. Conan finds 1, so it's all up to Secrets. Does make it a 1v4. Tries to peek out on V Spicy. Shock dart there from Kokona, but Secrets finds another. Make it 3 now. Does he have enough time to get a double kill and the defuse is the massive question. He's looking for Fear. The knives miss. But V Spicy prevents the ace and wins the round.
Now we're into effective overtime at this point. Team's got to win by 2 rounds in a row if they want to claim victory. That's kind of the thing that has really puzzled me throughout this whole round is, you know, so many of the teams group up all at once as if they want to do a very fast push into the point, but then once they reach kind of a choke point where a lot of utils being thrown out, they just immediately hesitate.
Yeah, I think, we talked about this on Icebox, right? This is the big thing where we're going to see teams kind of use all that util and rotate, but as you mentioned, instead of rotating, they're just kind of hesitating before either eventually pushing through or
Welcome
the
to
rare times we saw turn around as Kinetic is going to throw out that Viper's Pit here on the site, give the Wolves some coverage, but here comes Avian. Is he going to get this flank onto Kokkonen, onto that Sova, and open up the backside?
Spike planted.
Heads down. Kind of a dance between these 2 players, Kokkonen and Avian. Lots of Spicy. Gets Kokkonen as well. Tries to peek through the Viper's Pit. Jade is going to keep it to a 2-on-1. All things considered is pretty good for the Wolves. So gives them a chance of taking that. The Viper's Pit drops though, and immediately the Wolves fall apart. Tigers go to match point.
Really starts off the back of that Avian flank. Said 2 for 1. Causes confusion. Jabe has to turn around.
Match
Everybody's
point.
now looking for Avian. Match point for the Tigers. This has been a very back and forth series. I think this round will really come down to whether or not Avian gets a pick or gets picked, but it does look like it is a decent eco advantage for the Tigers here. A couple of Bulldogs coming out for the Wolves. So they're going to be at a slight disadvantage in the gun.
Don't get in my way.
Viper's Pit immediately used on A.
Just as the suppress comes out too. Wow.
It doesn't really seem like Jabe is trying to fire at all the potential angles that he can. Not finding anybody. Kinetic. Very nice angle possibly onto Dart. Dart just backs out, and he does. And the Viper's wall falls. And the Viper's Pit.
Toxins going up.
That is massive. As you said, that brings down the Viper's Pit. Secrets is this time the one trying for the flank. We do see that the Empress has been used here by Avian. Spike will get planted. Happy looks for a little peek. Might catch a couple of them in rotation, but just can't find him. Now finds 1. They're looking for Secrets. 4-2.
One enemy remaining.
Avian does fall.
Flashbang.
Hunter's Fury trying to target Happy.
Oh,
That's insane that Happy is managing to do this much.
is he gonna get it off?
Conan peeks around the corner. Oh, fumbles it.
One enemy
Had him.
remaining.
He had him, but as you said,
Switching sides. Overtime.
just could not deliver.
Now, if it was any other round, I'd still give props to Happy because you got to think, you know, he was down 2-4. There were 2 ultimates ripped on him. So I would say any other, that's kind of a great situation, you know, managed to take away a lot from them. But with it going into overtime and everything being reset, that point's kind of moot.
Yeah, I mean, I think you still have to give him props for that. I mean, I do think it helped out that the, you know, unfortunately, Maybe could have stuck it, but yeah, I think the KO being there kind of panicked him a little bit. And as you said, just fumbled that final play. Might have been able to take it, but it's 12-12. Did get a timeout call, which is interesting. Going into overtime, you call a timeout. Would have thought in any of those other long runs, those struggling rounds, we would see a timeout, but no. As you said, we basically were in effective overtime anyway at 11-11. So what are you looking for here? It does a little bit different as they will swap sides now every round, and the cash is hard set. So an Avian pop-off round doesn't mean he gets more cash the next round. So what are you looking for here in overtime between the Wolves and Tigers in our first series of the night?
Well, I think you kind of gave a hint into how it might turn out, and the fact that Avian isn't going to get that kind of initial pistol round advantage at this point, because that's where he's driven, You basically look at the score, 2/3 of it has been off of that initial pistol round momentum.
Yep.
So without that, I don't know, I can't really call it for either team. It's either a thing of if the Wolves manage to take Avian out as like a crucial first pick, or if they just kind of take the players around him out, so no matter how good he is, he can't win a 5-on-2.
We've seen, really it's actually been, Secrets and Happy who have almost won the 5-on-1s. Not Avian as you might expect, but the Tigers immediately rush onto this A site. Rezkin going to start the plant. Decide he wants to pick a slightly better location. We do have quite a battle here with Happy and his two flankers. Fear and Kinetic are over there. Avian now turns around as well. Oh, they just barely saw Happy. Avian does find the first. Kinetic is hit low, and that double kill massive for the Tigers. Though they do lose Rezkin here for the 4-on-2.
Avian has gotten enough to pop the Empress. Uses it. Conan hides behind the wall.
Last
It's
player
starting
standing.
to be mowed down, and Avian's coming up. He can't stick it.
Close. I thought maybe,
Switching
but
sides.
what is it
Match
with
point.
Avian? And every time we swap sides, he gets a 4-piece, right? First round
That
of the
is
game,
true.
4-piece. Halftime, first round, 4-piece. First round of overtime, 4-piece. If he gets another one here, I mean, he's amazing whenever the game forces you to swap sides.
Well, and one thing I kind of forgot when I said he doesn't have the initial pistol round advantage, that's true, but he has a very fast charging ult. So if he gets a first few picks, which has been the case multiple times, then we could be seeing multiple Empresses be the ultimate thing that kind of decides it.
See what the Wolves have in store. Will we keep playing overtime,
Poison's off.
or will they fall? Avian gonna get the knife onto Kinetic. Oh no. The knife, always the disrespect, but his first blood. You hate to see it though. His teammates for Kinetic are here. Jabe and Fear making 4-3 in the Wolves' favor.
Now go into post plant. Secrets, just able to get the shot onto Jabe. And swap out that op. And he gets hit with the recon bolt, so it's going to keep him at bay.
One enemy remaining.
Secrets is the one to step up, however. It isn't going to be Avian, it's going to be Secrets to be the one to clutch it. GG's go around, and the Tigers win it in overtime, 14-12.
And what a
Defenders win.
incredibly fought game. I would love to see how many kills Avian ended with, because I mean we saw 33. He had to be in the 40s at that point, which is just a phenomenal performance, even if you include overtime.
Well, Fish, ultimately going at it alone can only get you so far. If you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills, and I think we saw that in that last round. It wasn't Avian who claimed it, even though he was the one popping off. It was a teammate, Secrets, who did it. You can see just how talented these players are. Esports Tower takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Shout out to Coach Halter, and for those of you watching who haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's the fast track to rank up. So the Tigers start off the night with a thrilling overtime win. Up next, we'll see the Wolves and Sharks face off on Ascent. So just any thoughts before we head to break on that last round to close things out for the first?
I mean, I think the big thing is going to be how the Wolves respond, right? They kind of had a very up-and-down game against the Tigers. I mean, in this round robin, if they can beat the Sharks, they keep their grand final hopes alive. I mean, obviously we saw the Tigers. I mean, you got to slow down Avian. That'll be a very fun team to watch. But no, I want to see how the Wolves do. I mean, They were so close, looked like they were going to turn it around, and then they just could not find a way to stop Avian. So I'm excited to see how this team performs against the Sharks, who we have not seen yet tonight.
Well, we'll see the Sharks after we see where we take this break. So we'll be back with the conclusion of the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble after this. You're not going to want to go away.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, It's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Hello everybody and welcome back into our Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. We just saw the Tigers and Wolves go the distance in a 14-12 game on Icebox here to kick off our Spring Rumble. It's round robin group stages, so every win is important. And we're going to wrap up the night here with the Sharks and the Wolves. See if the Wolves can get back on the winning trail or if the Sharks can officially eliminate them. I am Michael Fisher. Should be joined here by Jacob Palmer later on in the broadcast. But a fantastic game to start things off. Cannot wait to see what the Wolves can do against the Sharks. I know I saw some of the Sharks players were in that game throwing the GGs, so they know what to expect from the Wolves. I know for the Wolves, though, they are happy they do not have to see the man that is Avian one more time because he absolutely popped off over 40 kills if you didn't see it, which was absolutely phenomenal. And with good reason. He was the winter MVP, Kokona the spring MVP on that Wolves side, trying to turn things around. But before we hop into Ascent, we do want to take a moment to congratulate all of our Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the club and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last year, Esports Tower members have received over $4.5 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically as well and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities that these players are getting. And one of the best ways to prove yourself to get those opportunities is to follow Doc's Keys to the Game, which are presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. And that is to flank efficiently. We saw that a ton from both of our teams. The Sharks better be ready. The Wolves love flanking. Got to check your angles, count cards, call abilities, and of course, at the end of the day, the simplest thing, click heads for that easy kill. It's brought to you by Esports Tower. Improve your game, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Well, it's time to head into Ascent. Wolves, Sharks, ready for Game 2 of our round-robin group stage. Remember, if the Wolves lose, they will be officially eliminated. And we'll have a Sharks-Tigers grand finals. If the Wolves can win, we'll have to come back next week to see who makes it. So let's hop in to Ascent and see who comes out on top in this best of one. And don't forget, if you're in the area around Akron University, you want to make sure you sign up for the Gauntlet Games, Rocket League and Fortnite showing out. Make sure you scan that QR code. I know we had one earlier at Shenandoah University in February. A ton of fun. Again, if you're in that Ohio area, make sure you check out the Esports Tower Gauntlet Games at the University of Akron at their state-of-the-art esports facility. Right now, we've got Wolves and Sharks getting ready to go here for Game 2 of our group stage here in our round-robin Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. Both these teams try and earn a spot in the grand finals next week. And again, I'm really curious to see how the Wolves respond. Had some very, very bad rounds. Of course, 2 4-round winning streaks by the Tigers in our Game 1 to start each half, but the Wolves battled back. Looked like they maybe had a chance, and we hop into it now. Wolves, of course, saw them last time. Kokona, our Spring Valorant MVP. Kinetic, always, of course, the Spicy Fear as well. See what they can do against the Sharks. We have not seen so far tonight. We do see so far Sharks all looking for that A push. V Spicy and Kinetic could potentially be in for a very exciting first couple of seconds here. Here comes Cats and company. Early shots traded out immediately. Kinetic and company realize they need to get back. See how much further they want to push. Is Monkey the first one to lead the charge? No one in heaven yet for the Wolves, so it is open for the taking. Spicy looking for that early pick. He's going to go out. Monkey's going to pick up one. They trade back and forth and back and forth. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-2 advantage for the Sharks, but there are a couple of members with very, very low health bars. Sunny Lee's going to get that spike down.
planted the spike.
Oracle's very low, the KO. A one shot from death there for Cats. To Fear. Company have in store. Positioning here for the Sharks.
Last
Down to
player
Heller
standing.
Sunny Lee, and he finds the first pick onto Jay. Look for one onto Fear, but he can't quite find it. 2-on-1. Cats for the flash, fake on the defuse. Unable to find anything in Corkle. The Sheriff will pick up the kill, so the Sharks rush A. And it works out. We'll see if they're able to turn this into a 4-round win streak. As the pistol round is not on the Wolves' side in their first series. Could not find a way to win either
I should
pistol
play some
round.
Astro Stars in this reality.
Both times. Tigers went on a 4-round winning streak here.
Recovering it.
Couple of early Astra smokes lined up here for Crunchwrap Supreme. The Sharks immediately flip the script. All look towards B, but I like the play from the Wolves. They want to get aggressive. They know they're outgunned. Conan and Fear are going to rush in. Sunny Lee goes and picks up one. Corkle's going to find two.
One
Aggressive
enemy
pistol
remaining.
push with a nice shock dart from Corkle's. Not going to find anything. Plus, Crunchwrap Supreme gets the plant down for the bonus credits for the Sharks. Could not have drawn it up any better. Jabe at least looking for one or two picks here.
Flawless.
He can't even find it onto Crunchwrap Supreme. Flawless for the Sharks, and once again, for some reason, the Wolves just cannot find a way to
Release the tension.
start the game
Good.
out strong.
Let's go.
As we learned on our first map, I would not discredit them at all. Again, when you're
Should I
outgunned
play some stars in
on
this
that
reality?
second round, stuck with pistols after losing the first, you got to make an aggressive play. I'm a big fan of it. Usually, it looks a lot like what we just saw. You kind of charge headlong into your death of the full automatic SMGs, and that's what happened here. So the Wolves will get the full buy though, able to buy all ARs, and now we'll have the advantage in our bonus round. This is the first time we've seen real hesitation from the Sharks. B Spicy might have seen Crunchwrap Supreme. Didn't see Monkey. Monkey gonna find one, but Kinetic answers it right back. But he will be taken out by Crunchwrap Supreme, so a 2-1 trade in favor for the Sharks. Knife from Cats does miss, but a defensive smoke to Conan from getting any picks here onto the Sharks. Phantom comes out. Phantom picks up for Crunchwrap Supreme. Should be another one lying around there as well. Not quite sure if Cats is able to grab it or not, but it does look like rotate mid over into Garden on Dog Walk. Conan gonna peek one, but there's a second one there, and Crunchwrap Supreme with that stolen Phantom finds another kill. Line gonna go on to Fear. And on Market.
30
Everybody
seconds left.
safe through. 30 seconds left. Should be able to get the plant down. Cats
One enemy
sees
remaining.
one. Can he find the second? Yes, he can. And the Sharks 3-0 lead here over the Wolves. Will the Wolves once again go down 4-0? Started out with a 2-for-1 trade. Once Crunchwrap Supreme was able to pick up that Phantom, really kind of gave the Wolves the edge they needed, and a great lurk here by Cats. Holding back. Instead of pushing through Market, finds himself a double kill.
Again. Shutting them down.
Brought a knife. Unfortunately, does get destroyed. Crunchwrap Supreme didn't see him though.
Spike down B.
It's a 1-for-1 trade. The rest of the Sharks are here to be able to recover the spike. They do take down Kinetic as well. Remember, Wolves full pistols, so just trying their hardest to get a pick here or there. See what Fear and
One
Be
enemy
Spicy can
remaining.
do. Fear gets taken out, Be Spicy as well. It's another double kill to end the round for Cats. And
Keep the momentum.
stop me if you've heard this before, but it's the Wolves down 4-0 here in the first half. Multiple ults online for the Sharks. Of course, always something we talk about when there is a cipher, which Sonny Lee has been playing quite a bit of in recent weeks, is finding ways to get that neural theft used as frequently as possible. Needs a body from the Wolves in order to use it. Then gets 2 pings at the enemy position. That is always massive. Kinetic.
Blocking vision.
Back. Drop the smoke. Alpha was coming through. Does have the presence protected by the knife. Jabe finds the first, however. And Kinetic's going to find one more, make it 2 plus the spike. Something about these 5th rounds is really kind of lit a fire underneath the Wolves. 2 members left for the Sharks. Do have the Hunter's Fury as well. So Shock Dart not able to find damage as both of them come out here. Corkles looking for anything. The Astra Smoke will fade, so Corkles now fully exposed. Still not able to pick up the spike. Finds one. Kinetic going to find his 3rd of the round. It's a 4-on-1. There are some low health bearers on Kinetic. Corkles going to take a ton of damage up from Fear in Heaven, and it's Kinetic with his 4th kill of the round. Who stops once again the winning streak of the opposing team at 4. See now, remember, the Wolves ended up winning that first half against the Tigers after being down 4-0, 7-5. So we'll see if that happens again. Sharks potentially looking for some early scouting here from Crunchwrap Supreme, as he's the only one pushed forward up in B lobby. Do have pretty massive ult advantage for the Sharks. Hunter's Fury, the Empress, Neural Theft all online. The Astral Wall up for Kinetic. And no tour de force for Jabe here if he wants to push forward and look for an early pick. Looks like we might have a bit of a timeout. Most likely a disconnect. We have not seen the Sova for the Sharks move. So great little chance for both these teams to kind of get an unofficial timeout. Talk about what they need to do for the Wolves, what they need to do to kind of continue this winning streak for the Sharks, what went wrong in that last round. Figure out a way to continue to kind of put the Wolves behind. Again, it doesn't look like we're waiting for a disconnect from the Sova from the Sharks. Once he's all back, we should be good between the Wolves and the Sharks here. Again, Esports Tower Spring Valorant Rumble. Wolves and Sharks, game 2 of our round robin series. Tigers, who we saw in our first game, took down the Wolves 14-12. A very epic series. Pick up their first win. Remember, if the Wolves lose this, they will be eliminated. We'll have Sharks, Tigers guaranteed in our grand finals next week. If the Wolves can win, though, the Sharks and Tigers will have to play a play-in game next week. Determine that last grand final spot. So a lot on the line here in this one. Just simply waiting for one of our members to get back. Happens from time to time. So hopefully once Corkles can get back, I believe we should be all good to go. Big thing for the Wolves, going to be finding ways to consistently win trades, something we saw them not do very well against the Tigers. A lot of 1-for-2s, 2-for-3s, 2-for-4s. Always kind of found themselves on that back foot. For the Sharks, just a team that wants to play strong defense, wants to force teams to waste a lot of utility. As we, again, waiting for that disconnect to be resolved here. We can play full 5-on-5 Valorant between the Wolves and the Sharks on Ascent. It is a 4-1 lead for the Sharks. Started off hot, 4 rounds in a row, but the Wolves just answered back, and it looks like we are all good to go here as we kick off round 6. Between these two teams, immediately a trade, back and forth, 2-for-2. Kinetic finds 2, but Corkles and Monkey answer that right back. It's 3-all. Empress still up for the Sharks if they choose to use it for monkey mode. They push through mid with some fantastic smokes from Crunchwrap Supreme. Got the KO for the Wolves. Rotating back, however, going to get up on Heaven's side on A for Kokkonen. Should have a great chance here. Potentially find a pick. Flash going to go out. Cats runs right into fear, and for the first time in this series, it's Cats who loses the gunfight. Massive pick for the Wolves. Crunchwrap Supreme still gets this plant down. Flash goes off. Monkey kind of called that one, but Jabe going to answer right back. 2-on-1 here for Crunchwrap Supreme, and he can't even find the first. It's Jabe picking up the kill. Spear getting the defuse. And the Wolves, once again, start slow, but answer right back with the second round in a row. It is 4-2. Risky play here, though, for Jay. We always talk about it. Always better to push in numbers. Who would have known what would have happened if Crunchwrap Supreme had found that first pick? Of course, Dave did have the teleport. I think that's what he was relying on. He does, as you can see there at the end of that replay, teleport immediately back. 4-2, still enough in the pockets of the Wolves for one more buy. See what they have in store this round. Is V-Spicy going to pick up the first? Cat's trying to spray on the dog. Not quite able to find it, however. Jacob, if you didn't know, you would think you'd watch in the same game because it was a 4-0 lead for the Sharks before the Wolves answered right back.
Well, hey, sometimes old habits die hard in that way. Meanwhile, still a few jump peeks through mid as the Sharks look to be trying to hold down that angle with 2. Haven't really gone up through catwalk. In fact, that Astra is the only one who can go up through gardens. And V-Spicy, they're so focused on A main, there might be a potential for a nice flank to happen here. Gonna run right into this Cypher, and he's not looking the right way.
Oh, if only Sonny Lee had got it, might have gotten twofer, depending on if they were lined up.
30 seconds
as the
left.
Neural Theft, but as you said, wasn't looking the right way, so it is a 4-on-3 favor of the Wolves. 30 seconds left, so a bit of panic. Kokkonen gonna find one.
A.
Flash goes out from Cats. He doesn't take quite a lot of damage from that ball.
Last player standing.
Only one left for the Sharks, and he's going to be taken out. So pretty solid win there by the Wolves. And 3 wins in a row as we're into the rifle stage means that the Sharks most likely are going to have to start ecoing, and that might be the case. One of them is on a Marshall, although one of them still has 6,000 credits, so he might be able to buy. It looks like Crunchwrap Supreme might still have to settle for half shields.
It looked like everybody still has a rifle. Looks like actually Crunchwrap Supreme will stick with the Marshall. So, no loan from his teammates today.
Suppressor.
Bail out.
4 suppressed.
Nice 4-man knife. Meanwhile, Jay with the tour de force. Push the Marshall in his place as Crunchwrap Supreme goes down.
Fire going through the smoke. Sharks find themselves in an awkward position, but aren't really thinking on rotating right yet. In fact, this tour de force kind of has them pinned down as far as that's concerned.
So you can see on your map, Abe has a great angle if anyone wants to leave into B lobby. So far, the Hyde is coming up on the Sharks as they quickly realize there is no escape. They are simply trapped here waiting to be caught.
The smokes do wear themselves out.
Smoke's down.
Slowly moving through. A knife is going to be thrown out, trying to clear this vantage point on mid-market. Jabe, though, still has this sideline locked out, throws out another one as Cypher Cage is thrown out just to try to keep him at bay.
30 seconds left.
Fortunately for the Sharks, there's only 30 seconds left. I don't know if there's enough time to rotate over. Plus, you now have the tour de force in the attacker spawn. I think you kind of just got to hope for the best at B, or at least maybe look for a couple of picks, because you are not going to have enough
10
time to
seconds
plant. Maybe even looking just for a save here for the remaining 3 members for the Sharks.
Yeah, it's not the most traditional save, I suppose, being pinned into B main. They are going to be able to find one exit frag. I don't know. Oh, that's getting so greedy on those exit frags.
Didn't pick up the double, so might have been worth it, honestly.
But I think this kind of is the same problem that we saw in Icebox too. It's like they all group together as if they want to do a quick full push.
Yep.
But then they just can't decide whether they want to rotate or whether they want to keep going through the plan. And granted, there were obstacles no matter where they were going in that particular scenario. But it's emblematic of a larger kind of commitment problem I'm seeing.
No, I think you're totally right. I mean, this has had a lot of shades of that first series as Cats and company. Here we go. Everybody's on A, but this time the first blood means little resistance. They rip the Neural Theft. They rip the Hunter's Fury. Every ult being used by the Sharks they had in their pocket.
Spike planted.
And they get the spike down.
Ooh, Sunny Lee gets caught after that smoke drops. It's down to 4-piece. Sharks have got the plant. Looking for the retake. Oh, and Korkos picks up a double. Some bad crosser placement for the Wolves to make their job harder.
Suppressive. 2 suppressed.
Does find 2. Smokes fade. Great defense angle. Another fake on the plant. Micah Conan finds 1. Gonna try and stick it. Cat stops him, and it's a 1-on-2, though Jabe, I believe, does have the op.
Last player standing.
And I don't know if he has time.
He's going to have to settle for just the 1 frag.
Cats could not get close enough to the op, so the op will fade into oblivion, and I want to say this is exactly how Game 1 actually played out in terms of rounds 1, so we'll see if we have another 14-12 on our hands.
Very well could. That was very unfortunate as a fall there around Generator for the Wolves.
Good luck, Astra.
Thought they might be able to bring it back, but an engagement on a Korkos, he just didn't have that crosshair place where he wanted it to be. A miss on the op shot. Going to force the Wolves to reposition a bit.
I think the Sova Dart bounced a little backwards, so no Sova Dart. Wall does go down as Jabe and Kinetic combine for a pair. Oracle's Shock Dart trying to just throw something out on the Kokona. Can't quite find him. Full strike gonna come down, and the pick, and that's a flawless right there for the Wolves. What an answer back.
You only have to spend 1 ult for complete flawless. Seems like a pretty good trade. We only have 2 rounds left in this first half.
Not only that, you got the Astral Wall out as well, so you only had, as you said, only used 1 ult and even got the last remaining ult for the Sharks, and I don't know if the Sharks will have another ult the rest of this half, depending on how they play.
All depends on who is closest to their ult. Has the spray pattern down on that Vandal and is able to take Crunchwrap Supreme out. Wolves off to a great start. And also Korkos, I mean, it's not elimination, but it's as close as you can possibly get to one.
Mike Breeze will knock him over as V-Spicy picks up 1, make it 3 on the round for V-Spicy. And it does also look like this was an eco round for the Sharks. V-Spicy, oh, I thought he had the ace, but it got stolen by Kinetic. But still a flawless, and the Wolves will take it.
I mean, a full house, if you will.
Equip yourselves,
3 and a 2.
Spend
Wolves have the chance to end this much like they did the first round. I'm still questioning whether you just didn't replay the first round, but on Ascent.
That was our advanced, ChatGPT hooked me up. We were able to figure out how to just basically, yeah, as you said, replay the first game, but on Ascent. It has played out almost identical, as long as the Wolves win this, but the Sharks do get a full buy. So they'll try and prevent history from repeating itself. Well, they would take it, right? Because, of course, the Tigers ended up winning that match. Maybe the Sharks are okay with a 7-5 deficit.
Take flight.
Throws out the owl drone in mid. Gonna see what he can spot. So the Sharks have their Astra placed up pretty far on the catwalk. Place down 1 star. That off, but it's a mid-market. We have to worry about Jabe, and Jabe misses his shot with the off, and very tragic.
We're on 2 here for the Sharks. Perhaps Supreme going to start planting, though Kinetic did call in the Astra Wall and stop the plant and the spike.
Last player standing.
He is the last one alive. And Sunny Lee, what a great pick for the team ace. And it is not 7-5, but instead 6-6 at the half.
Switching sides.
So now we reset everything. One thing different about this game is that it's all tied up instead of being a 7-5. We'll see how well the Wolves can do as they are placed on offense. And all the Sharks seem to be happy with going for the Ghost here.
All right, I mean, at this point, the Wolves are 0 for 3 on the night in pistol rounds. Maybe the Sharks can even bring out the knives.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about these early rounds, but
that goes there.
just plagued the Wolves so far.
Yalla. This goes here.
Gonna reposition some of those tripwires.
This is a nice spot.
Throws out his cage. Seems to be predicting where the Wolves are going to charge through pretty well, because they are committing mostly toward B.
Nice, though, did dash in for the cage. Oh, he's going to find one from Market. Fear gets the plant down. Can he find the second? No, suddenly he gets it.
Spike planted.
Peek out from B point. Sunny Lee sees him. He's going to be smoked off. Nice pick onto Jade, preventing flank coming out from mid-market. Knife thrown out. It's going to get Monkey. Trap Supreme slowly moving out. Both teams trying to take it as a 2-on-1. Now there's just one left.
Enemy remaining.
They get a 1-on-1, and Kikkonen clutches it for the Wolves.
That was very scary for both sides.
Can't say the same for you,
A lot of one for one, but it finally results in a Wolves pistol round win. A great job by V-Spicy taking that jet initiative, and I think that knife ended up kind of throwing the Sharks off the game because the knife suppressed Happy, so they knew he was there, and that opened up Kikkonen for a nice double kill on B site.
Launching smoke.
Trap Supreme is just waiting for a shorty play. He sees the dash forward, but he's going to wait for the rest to charge through the choke point. He's able to pick up one, get a few shots on another, but it's ultimately going to be just 1-for-1.
Did a ton of damage onto the KO as well. They also were able to get the pick onto V-Spicy, so it is a 4-on-3, but the Wolves do have the SMGs.
The 2 of those SMGs have been given over to the Sharks.
So low of a pistol shot. Sunny Lee might even find him. Finds the one. He's at 1 HP. Staying alive. Ooh, Kinetic actually went up to the Vandals. This could be a huge round loss if the Wolves can't clutch it. That'd be a massive free weapon for the Sharks.
Sunny Lee very low on health. Peek is going to go out from Monkey Mode, and Korkos gets it. He picks up that Vandal.
They sacrifice for nothing.
And what a win for the Sharks.
If you're not a good shot today,
with that Spectre that you mentioned had been stolen away from one of the Wolves. Korkos with a fantastic flank, and we have really lived up to the flank efficiently. I idea from Doc's Keys so far today. I think
That's probably the most efficient flank you can get, is
Yes.
taking the Vandal away from them.
didn't have to use anything. Steals the Spectre off the ground, ends up with a Vandal. Quite an upgrade, and now in the bonus, the Wolves have some pistols.
Oh, Crunchwrap Supreme, just one tap on the Vandal. Picks up, it's going to fire a bit through that smoke.
I cannot use that.
A few dinks have been placed onto the Wolves. The Brim's almost down to half health. They're going to slowly rotate over, with the one exception being this chamber. Maybe trying to get some sort of sightline through on B.
They're a sightline or at least a bait. Give his team the edge. Kinetic gonna see Cats. Unfortunately, though, he's gonna get shot in the back. Crunchwrap Supreme and Monkey Mode combining for 3 kills. And now it's all up to Jabe.
I think he saw the elbow. Yep, he did. He called it out. Corkles is there with the Vandal. And almost a perfect round for the Sharks.
Well, they won't win 4 in a row. Fantastic back-to-back round wins for the Sharks. So now everybody at full strength. We can even see there on our bottom left we have at least one op. Interestingly enough, for the Sova, though the way Corkles has been playing, it is well deserved. See what he can do with it.
Man, I ultimately think the Wolves they got that first pick, and they were so thinking, okay, it's clear now, and they didn't think to check mid, where Corkles was just waiting.
Ooh, couple of shots to go out on the Crunchwrap Supreme. Smoke gonna go down. See the tripwire. He's gonna take it out as Kakoni gets another, and Ace and B side all open, and here comes the Sharks.
Slowly being taken down. Can he bring out his gun soon enough? Jabe teleports away.
Flashbang.
Thrown out. Goes eliminated by Jabe. Wolves seem to have this post plant locked down pretty well.
Market's making some big plays, but unfortunately just ran out of health. Kokkonen picks up the kill, and the Wolves tie it up 8-8, and I'm curious what happens with that op that they, I assume, got. It looks like they did. On Kinetic?
And Wolves seem to be focusing on Fish Market once again.
Scanning ahead.
Darts thrown out.
Found them.
Trying to get initial peek. That's pretty good recon. It pings off a fear. Trap Supreme trying to peek out from around the corner. Oh, they see him, and they're able to take out Crunchwrap. Luckily for the Wolves, there isn't a chamber holding down mid this time, so they have a little bit more room to rotate out.
One of the few times we see a rotation, though Sunny Lee with a great camera, I believe, spotted almost every single member. So this rotation over A should be well covered. Sunny Lee trying to throw out some damage. He's a little bit on the beat. Spicy gets caught in the reload, and Fear gets plant down.
23 health left for V Spicy. He has a great angle here onto Heaven, is able to get one. Almost gets two, but I think he's played his part more than enough. It's a 3-on-1. Jabe is just waiting with the op shot. Sees him, and there you go.
It seems these strangers want me dead.
No better than a kill with a free op. 9-8 Wolves. 8 of our 10 alts online, but for the Sharks, that's a lot of pistols. That is not promising.
So it's a question of where this chamber decides to set up also.
are, maybe mid, which Sharks maybe trying to look an aggressive mid play here, potentially with these pistols.
That could be shut down, especially if this isn't smoked off. You can pick them off. Sunny Lee is able to catch out Jade, but it's Kinetic with the Phantom. Doing work for the Wolves. Looks to be a B plan.
Oh, Corkle saw Kinetic with the Al drone.
Last player
Had to
standing.
cancel, and Kinetic with the 4-piece. Doing his best avian impersonation. Makes it 10-8 for the Wolves, and now the Sharks have everything. And I mean everything. Full guns, full shields, full ults. They've got to use them quickly, because this game's getting away from them.
Looks to be another very fast fish market push. Corkles is hanging out on that dart. And it's pinged off the Wolves a few times as they've taken the initial doorway into fish market.
You want to fight?
Go. Hunter's Fury is going to be used pretty fast by the Sharks. Forcing the Wolves to dash around. Looks like it did get a ping onto V Spicy.
These darts from Corkles have been really strong. I think probably got a ping and then ripped the Hunter's
Spike
Fury.
down,
We see the
B.
KOs trade kills. Kinetic finds one more, and B-Site wide open for the taking once again. It's been the Wolves'
Spike
bread and
planted.
butter in this second half, and they've got it down with the spike once again.
Is a Cypher also wasn't in a position? Actually, he's going to be rotating down if he realizes there's a corpse there, which he doesn't. But that would have been a great opportunity for that Neural Theft. He's going to move back. Now he sees it. He's got it. Okay, that's going to help him out greatly.
Goes out. Astral Wall is down from the Sharks, so they're going to be able to kind of push through at their decision. They got to push together. This Crunch Trap Supreme goes through, and they find all of them. The Sharks get the defuse.
No,
Oh,
no
I thought
time.
they did. I thought
Oh.
they had it.
Wolves still claim the victory, and that could be crucial because the Sharks spent a whole bunch of the ultimates they had saved up on that round, and it would have been worth it had they won, but they were just a few seconds too late.
I think it goes back, right? I mean, those were about 4 or 5 seconds they lost when Sunny Lee had to turn around and find the body.
Yeah.
I think that was the real difference maker. But small things like
You want
that.
to play? Let's
Now,
play.
despite what looked like a winning. Okay, wow, what a shot from Crunch Trap Supreme. What a lineup, too.
He's going to claim the free Phantom for himself. Turns out even though that was a win, it's a kind of an awkward win for the Wolves as a lot of them are on pistols. But B Spicy sure isn't. He's just going to take care of that KO.
Implant
Spike
for
planted.
the Wolves at B. We'll see if this time they can hold on or if they will time out the Sharks once again. Jade with the tour de force picks up the kill on a Crunch Trap Supreme. Makes it
One
that
enemy
much
remaining.
harder. Another one onto Monkey Mode, and it's all up to Sunny Lee. And I'm not sure what this poor Cypher without an ult is going to be able to do with just a pistol.
I'm sticking against
Whoa.
him. A miss on the tour de force of all things. Luckily, he has teammates to
Match point.
clean up for him. Now we're at match point for the Wolves, a bit of a different position. This is where the rounds have finally diverged in their patterns. We actually have a good number of rounds where the Wolves can claim it before overtime.
Would be massive. Again, if the Wolves find a way to win, which is looking ever more likely. The Sharks and Tigers will meet next week for a play-in game to the Grand Finals. The Sharks can find a miraculous comeback. The Wolves will be eliminated, and our Grand Finals will be set next week. B has been the money maker for the Wolves, but this time Jade with a kill on the Crunch Trap Supreme might mean it's over towards A for one of our few times on the second half.
shots go out, and Be Spicy moves on toward A. There's just 3 left for the Sharks.
Spike planted.
He manages to pick up Fear.
Oh,
Cat's very low.
Like Monkey's just got to rip the Empress. Has it online. It's not going to matter. Gets taken out. It's a 2-on-4 for the Sharks. As you said.
Even then, just barely a 2-on-4 because Cats.
1 1/4 on 4.
I don't think they have time.
Not. No, Cats gives it a valiant effort.
Attackers win.
But it is the Wolves who pick up the victory and guarantee that we will be back next week with a play-in game between the Sharks and Tigers. But don't forget that March Gauntlet Game Land is hosted at Akron University. This free event offers players a chance to compete in both Rocket League and Fortnite at the state-of-the-art Akron Esports Arena. Score university swag and other fantastic prizes. Sign up today at esportstower.com/gauntlet-games-akron for more information and to sign up. A fantastic job by all of our teams. I mean, really, this is... I mean, going into next week, again, we'll have Sharks and Tigers in our play-in game for that grand finals. What are your thoughts after seeing all 3 teams, Jacob? Because it feels like everyone was just so close.
I mean, the main common denominator between both of those games was the Wolves, who
Yes.
were scored on pretty early and then came back, at least to win it in Game 2, almost won it in Game 1. So I just got to say, I would just kind of focus on the pistol rounds for the Wolves, because if you can secure that and you're as good as you are in the rifle rounds, especially when you're going up against a team that had a player that was like 35 to 40 in their KDA.
Yeah, Avian was absolutely insane, and that brings us to tonight's player of the game, which is brought to you by Esports Tower. Want to hone your skills and prove what you have, what it takes to play at the next level? Head over to esportstower.com and check it out. So who do you think is going to be the player of the game?
I mean, yeah, you could give it to Avian, but because the Wolves were in 2 games, then it could go to either one of to any of their players as well. So I don't know. It's going to be either Avian or one of the Wolves. That's as close as I can get in my predictions.
I think I could do you one maybe better. I think Avian or Kinetic would be my leaders, I think. Though I do think, as you said, I think anyone on the Wolves would be very deserving, but we're finding out who it's going to be. And I mean, I feel like unless I'm being baited, yeah, Avian, well deserving. I mean, the Tigers do not win in overtime if it isn't for Avian. As you said, I want to believe 40 kills. He had 33 and then got a 4-piece, so at least 37, if not more. 3 4-kill rounds, Jacob. That is absolutely insane in Valorant.
I mean, the numbers just speak for themselves. There's nothing really much that I can put on top of that. And especially on the flanks, too. There were times when the Wolves just weren't aware of their positioning whatsoever, didn't have anyone looking back, and Avian certainly made them pay dearly for it. He was definitely the one where I don't think if he was on the team, Tigers would have had a shot at it being nearly as close as it was. And here's just another one of his great 2-on-1s, is able to get Be Spicy and Kikkonen. So well-earned player of the game for Avian.
Congratulations. Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Esports Tower. If you want to hone your skills, prove you have what it takes to play at the next level, head over to esportstower.com and sign up to be part of the action. As Avian is our Esports Tower player of the game, and we will see him next week. As I said, Sharks and Tigers going to have a play-in match. Feel like we lean in Avian's and company's direction, but we will have to see. But do you have any final thoughts, Jacob, as we close out the night on our first Spring Valorant Rumble, which had a ton of action?
I mainly think that it's a question of these teams. The main problem that we saw is just a committal purpose. If they're all going to group up as one team, then it's usually because you're going to go in and just try to overwhelm the other team with your util and take the point quickly. But there were too many times where the whole team committed onto one hallway. It led to great flanks like the ones we saw from Avian. So work on your positioning, maybe spread out a little bit, and I think we'll be good going into the rest of the season.
Well, congratulations to all of our teams on a fantastic Spring Valorant kickoff. Everybody's still alive for a spot in the Grand Finals. It all depends on what happens with Sharks and Tigers next week. Make sure you come back next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern to see who will claim our first Spring Valorant title. We'll close out with our top 5, sponsored by Esports Tower. If you want to improve your game, take your skills to the next level, sign-ups now available for the Esports Tower League. Join our free starter club for Rocket League and start improving your skills. Head on over to esportstower.com and check out these top 5 plays, and we'll see you guys next week.
Waiting for the Wolves to come to you.
Knives as well in case he needs something close quarter. Here's Kinetic and Jabe. Jabe gonna find one. Kinetic will trade his life out to make it a 2-on-1 against Secrets and that op. When you hear it ring out, he's able to try and switch the pistol, but Kokonin gets the kill. That bonus armor we were talking about. Great knife there. Might have spotted out a couple members, but Avian's gonna pick up Jabe regardless. This is a free fire in 2. Avian finds 3, looking for one more. How to switch pistols, and he gets the 4-piece. And just like the start of the game, it's Avian popping off on a pistol. The rest of the Sharks are here. Able to cover the spike. They do take down Kinetic as well. Remember, full pistols, so just trying their hardest to get a pick here or there. Spicy. Fear gets taken out.
In this chamber. Trying to get some sort of sideline on me.
Sideline or at least a fade. Give his team the edge. Kinetic gonna see Cats. Unfortunately though, he's gonna get shot in the back.
Okay, that's gonna help him out greatly.
Down from the Sharks, so they're going to be able to kind of push through at their decision. They got to push together. Front trap, Supreme goes through, and they